Oh boy. And we're live. I think. I hope. You know, I do have an Ethernet cable. I just don't feel like plugging it in. But I'm gonna hope that the Wi-Fi works. Hi, Mika. Welcome to the stream where I'm breaking down. I think this is the last breakdown of the EP. It's the 6th song. There are 6 songs on it, if I can count properly. I think I remember there being 7, but I cut one because I didn't like it. But whatever. We're gonna see who shows up at 2 because I was gonna stream 2 hours ago. But I got a little sidetracked and started playing Melee. That's about it. I just started playing a lot of Melee. But that's about it. So yeah, we're streaming. God damn. Oh, this is terrible. I don't have water. I just realized I'm gonna be talking for like an hour at least on end, and I don't have water next to me. We'll go through it. You are the only person here, which is weird because normally it's like a crowd that shows up, you know, initially, but I haven't been live for the past few days, so YouTube pushed it to less people. And it's also 2 in the morning on a Monday night, you know, school night. Let me just quit this for more RAM. But no, it is quite disappointing because this is literally my favorite track on the EP. Just like hands down, it is just my favorite track. And I want to break it down like I was breaking down other ones, but this one is a little bigger than the other one, so it's actually like a longer breakdown. I remember I broke down Boost Remix and that shit took like 15 minutes, and then I broke down Baby Won't You Come My Way, which also took another like 30 minutes. Like it wasn't anything crazy. But yeah, we're here, we're queer, and I guess I'll just play it in case you forgot, and also just because I want to listen to it too. We can get into it just part by part.
don't know what to tell y'all, bro. I'm simply just
Yeah, and that's below. My favorite, not by a long shot though, because they're all, I think, pretty good. If you haven't listened to the EP, it is already out on SoundCloud and Bandcamp if you're interested in listening to the higher quality versions, but I do feel like there's a bit of charm that SoundCloud gives it. So yeah, hi Jim K, by the way. Welcome to the stream in which I normally be ending around now. Which is probably why no one's fucking joining, and it's sad because I have to break down this entire track, which I'm excited about, and it's whatever. I will still do it because I just think it's pretty funny how the whole track started from 9 circles. And all the animation clips are off. Sorry. Holy shit. There's a lot of stuff going on. Where's the LFO tool? I'm going to stab somebody. Where is the LFO tool? Is it linked to some other LFO tool? Don't tell me it's linked to some other LFO tool. I swear to God. It is. Just fucking 9 circles. And I remember I wanted to do something with 9 circles for so long. How's it going? I don't know. I mean, I've been worse, I've been better. I'm here, I'm clear. I just fucking whatever. Like, I wanted to do something with 9 circles for so long. Fucking, I just like had the sample sitting here. Like, yeah, it's a cool thing. I want to delete it from the whole no, I mean, like, I can go here and delete it straight up. It's cool, but I didn't know what to do with it. Then I like pitched it up and then like added like fucking something. Jesus Christ. All right, I EQ'd the shit out of it. I distorted it and then I added a transgate, which is giving it like all of the movement. Ow! Stop! Please. Okay. I spam this shit all the time. I mean, I stopped spamming it recently, but like, you know, every now and then when I can use it. What is causing? Is it the all pass phase? What is this? Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So I see. I have a bunch of different patcher presets and stuff being automated in throughout the course of the song, which is why it just geeks out whenever I disable all the plugins and automation clips. But that's basically what it is. And then like I just didn't have an idea for so long until I was just scrolling through ideas in my head, because I do that when I'm walking around. It's involuntary. And fucking, I remember Just Dance was a song that existed, and I was just scrolling through parts of the song to use, and I landed on the rap part being the intro, because then it would lead into the chorus for the build-up. And by here, I'm like, all right, the whole song is done. The whole song, I just have to add like a Reese here for the build-up, and I'm just like, you know what I should do? Actually turn the fucking master off. Because that's for later. The whole song is basically done. And then like fucking this part I added in kind of right after that, because I just wanted to see like what it would sound like if I made another part. By the time I made this mini synth part, I'm like, all right, yeah, no, I'm in business. You know what? I think I made this first. And then I'm like, that was too much. But like, it's basically mini synth. What this is, FL Studio sort of plugin, pretty cool. Can be a little retro when you want it to be. And I just, you know, fucked around. Gotta channel my inner loop maker for things like that. And then I just kind of like cut out some of the chords, put it in like lower octave, and that's like this part. Cool. There's a lot of distortion being created already just because the bass is so fucking loud. It sounds sick. And this fucking bass is the saw bass I always use, which is just saw, noise, distortion, and the random's all the way down because I never have the random phase on, especially for bass. Unless it's like a Reese or something. I was gonna add a synth here. I just decided against it apparently. Fucking whatever. I after that I was like, all right, now I gotta work on this build up, so this build up can be as good as I worked so out of order. So I'm just kind of going based off what I remember doing. I think I came across fucking Mormon shifted. What is this? Where's the OG vocal? Let me go over here. Oh yeah. You make me want to say classic. I hope I don't get fucking content ID'd for that because it's like very pitched up. But like I just kind of filtered that bitch in. I tried auto tuning it, but it didn't work for this part. Oh! I forget I can't just solo it. I can't simply just solo the track because of the fucking plugins I have. I have to consolidate that to audio. There's no way. Whatever. It's just... You can't even hear what the fuck he's saying, really, in the actual mix. It is just another ARP, which I think is cool because I like using vocals as instruments and just kind of layering them in just cause. And then this thing is probably the most heat decision I've ever made in my life because it's just iconic. You might not even like recognize it from the same song, or you just might know it from the same song and just like not really acknowledge it, but it's just like it just fits so well. And then just fucking add everything else and some claps. And that's it. You have a whole section. Like that's like, oh my god, cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I fucking pitched the 9 circles thing down an octave for this section, but it doesn't really matter. Right. And then the title of the track. I remember when I came across this vocal fucking... Oh god, I can't solo it. I have to go here. I'm just like, all right, well, that's the whole track. I'm gonna base it basically around this at some point. I wanted to use the verse of this in the intro, but I'm like, let's save it for later, for another section. Like, I basically had damn near the whole track planned out just because I picked out like 3 pretty good acapellas. And then I decided to just tease that in the intro and just never really. I don't know. It's just like it's like foreshadowing. You know what I mean? And it kind of works. Kind of works because then, like, when it finally hits, it's like. And everything's just going crazy. Like, you know, obviously I isolated the fucking, oh god. Oh god, dance chop, where is it? Oh, that's some random shit. I think I wanted to do like a vocal sample sort of thing. You know, but I'm just like, wow, that sounds terrible. Let me just distort the hell out of it and do the fucking Skrillex thing where it just sounds like an instrument now. Pretty cool. And then like, what the magic though is... Like I think I just like sampled it and like cut it up so that it would like kind of, you know, not be, it would just be a bit more staccato-y, which I think is just cooler. Gotta layer in the actual vocal itself. course, and then fucking, you know, I'm sampling this faster, and then I'm adding a just the fucking snare build-up. It's so basic. I think when I threw it in, I'm like, I'm gonna replace this with something else that is cooler, but I'm like, you know what, the snare build-up is kind of classic. You did notice it 15 minutes late, but that's alright, Kirby's ass. Welcome to the stream. But no, yeah, the snare build-up is just classic. You know what I mean? And then I'm just like, at this point, I have to kind of lean into how generic the whole, or just how classic it feels, I guess. Just as classic. So I'm just like, I gotta use the OG, but just resample it myself and not use the original thing. I don't know why. Because I could have just done that, but for some reason I remember I specifically was like, I want the sound of the resample, like, it's so subtle you don't even notice it, and it doesn't really do anything for the track. I just wanted to fucking cut it up and waste a few minutes. That's it. And yeah, the 9 circles thing comes back and everything. Like, there's a lot of room. Fucking. Oh yeah, cool. Drop time. Super loud, super kind of colorful-ish, but still really raunchy and distorted. Literally, like, the drop came from, whenever I wanted to make a drop that sounded really cool, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started with, I misclicking fucking every single thing so that I can't properly get to where I want to get to. I'm surprised I soloed everything and the patcher didn't freak out like it usually does. I just start with drum and bass. That's the wrong patch. The snare was not that crazy when I started, and I'll get to it. I'll get to it because, like, that's kind of the last thing I do is make a crazy ass snare, and then I'm just like, all right, well, let me try to sound design something, because I know I want to make something that I would want to vocode later. So I made something that I thought would sound decent, but would also sound good vocoded later, and it's this. You know, like, I had a whole chord progression planned out, but I just decided against it. I don't even know what the fuck is going on here. I'm gonna be so real. Whenever I sound design, I just click shit. What? What do you mean I used hyperdimension? I can't click shit now. It seems to be broken. It doesn't allow me to. It doesn't want to be clicked. What is this fucking sorcery? What, are you scared? Oh, that's not fun. There we go. I don't even know what is going on here. I have an automation knob on the detune despite the unison being off. Like, this is how fucking random this shit is. I think because I had it detuned at some point, but then I decided against it. I don't know. Whatever. Fucking. I didn't use this, but it sounds cool. Just, I don't even know. I think I just like I just had a preset and then I just kind of changed a bunch of fucking wavetables and filters and plugins and shit. I think this is from the preset. So let's say I duplicate this, but then I go to another hypersquare base. Right? I see. So I didn't actually use any of these consciously. I just borrowed it from a preset that I made a while ago. That's pretty funny. But then I just ended up consolidating that to audio. Although consolidating it to, there's no, I just fucking exported it. Apparently there was a pattern that didn't have the chord progression in it. No, actually no, there wasn't. I just cut it up in the thing, and I just wanted it to be an audio for some reason, maybe to save CPU. But whatever, and it's like that, and then what is that? This is like the whatever. And then basically I'm just like, okay, vocoder time. This is me being extremely lazy and just like doing the thing I do best, which is slapping a fucking vocoder on everything. And so that resulted in, please don't kick out. Okay, cool. That resulted in there's a bit going on here. So fucking it's the same sound, just put through a vocoder. So it's a carrier playing a really big chord on a MIDI outs, and then I have a patcher that sends MIDI through the port that I set the MIDI out to into a synth, in this case harmless. You could use like Serum though. I just wanted it to be with all like default plugins for some reason, except for the frequency shifter that came in later. It splits the signal left and right like you would a vocoder, and it goes into a fruity vocoder. I don't like to use vocodecs too much. I don't know. It just has a specific sound that I don't necessarily vibe with. Like if I wanted all my sounds to sound like they had Soundgodizer, I'd fucking put Soundgodizer on it. But like whatever. I have a peak controller on it so that because if the peak controller wasn't controlling the peak of the peak controller, and if it wasn't peaking the peak control, if it wasn't doing anything, then like okay, it's never mind, because the balance is oh I see. If it wasn't doing anything, it just rings out like way too much. So that's what the peak controller's for. And whenever I'm in here, I just fuck with knobs. I just fucking turn knobs. I don't care. This is a compressor. What is this? Oh, the gain's way down, because otherwise it would be so fucking loud. All right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Then I put it through my little processing chain here. Limiter, multi-band compression. Jesus fucking Christ. Bit crush. That's where all the sound comes from. EQ the hell out of it. Hi, Ryzen. DS it. Very important. If that wasn't there, it'd sound harsh as hell. Game and sauce just makes it louder. It's this, and it's also this. It's basically doing nothing, but it just makes it a little louder. And then this is the real sauce, convolver, right? So I just have an impulse that is shortened, really short, and that's all the stereo. That's all the stereo. And the reason why I would use a convolver instead of like a dimension expander in this case is because like it also affects the mono signal, the convolver. Or it also, you can hear it when it's folded into mono. Like if you fold something with dimension expander into mono, all of the sparkly artifacts and like all the, like the high end that like that you're really after, like the high end that it gives you, it just disappears completely. So, whatever. And then I fucking use OTT, which I rarely do. But it was deserving. The sound is deserving of OTT. It's like, it kind of needs that laseriness. And just made it way louder and then EQ'd it. And then that's the main sound. And then I just surrounded it with a piano. We're just playing some chord. And then a saw. Which is being controlled by an LFO, which is on. It just shouldn't be. Somewhere here. Yeah. Yeah, cool. That's literally the whole fucking drop. And then I added the 9 circle shit too. But I added a patcher preset to the 9 circle shit. Which is just an all pass phase. Okay, it's an EQ. What the fuck? It's an EQ. It's a non-linear filter. It's an all pass phase. It's a gain booster machinery with a limiter. And then it's the octagon. To give it even, which is just an all pass phase with extra steps and also OTT. Because there's 8 of them. And they're in series, and they all are controlled by one knob, the depth, and that's what tweaks out whenever I disable the plugins. And then another EQ. And that gives it that laseriness, so it kind of adds attack to the... Well, not really. You can barely hear the attack that it adds. Yeah, no, these saws though, I mean, they're pretty standard. There's like a fucking detune layer and a clean layer. And then they're just kind of being EQ'd somewhat opposite of each other. And then put through my fancy handy dandy ghetto clip, but it's just a limiter with no release, which I use all the time. And some fucking high end. And an LFO tool, which comes in later. But that's basically the whole fucking drop. Just that, and then the drums, and then the sidechain. Sounds really sick, sounds really loud and cool. And then I wanted to fill it in with like vocals and shit, so it's like... If I didn't solo that, you would not even know that he's doing that. Or maybe you would, I don't know. And then I also added a fucking laser, because I always add a laser to these sounds. It's actually a hit marker, but still. Just a little bit more of attack. You know, got me right. What is this? Oh, because I wanted to add but I couldn't figure out a way to sample it properly, so I just gave up and did. Which I think works pretty well. Right, so the drums though. The drums are pretty hard, right? How the fuck did I do that? I actually don't know. You know, but I do know that whenever I make drums, I just layer them. I layer them and, you know, like, oh, I like this part of this drum, this part of this drum, part of this drum. You know, so I have this snare, which is like, I don't know, something, which I pitch down so it could be in tune. It's being EQ'd. Wow! I guess that's where it would like, okay, that makes a lot of sense actually, yeah. I have, one of these pre-shifted, like, clap sort of deals before this snare, which I have pitched down to be in tune. That's basically it. It's 3-layer. This has a transient shaper on it and an EQ and another EQ. What? Oh yeah, that's the whole sound. What the hell? Because I thought that's just that. And then it all goes into nothing. This isn't fucking doing anything. Alright, yeah, cool. But it's there, it's organized. And then that's the first snare. You know, fucking... I don't even... It sounds like the Martin Garrix snare, so I use it. But it's not the Martin Garrix snare, but it's the same philosophy. You know? But the next snare, though... I just kind of changed the drums for this part because it would be way harder. Since we're on the topic of drums, I'll go over the drums in this part and then go over the rest of the drop because I only went over the first half of the drop to go over the drums because I'm like, we went far enough. I'm like, all right, yeah. This is the point where I make the drums a little spicier. And I know that for this part, I wanted to make the drums a little spicier too. So it's like... That fucking snare... I don't know how I landed on this combination of sounds. I'm gonna be so real. I know that the pre-shift just is a pre-shift from some clap. I wanted to use this for some fucking reason. Ow? The hell? So it wasn't tonal before, but I wanted to make it tonal. I see. And then whatever the hell this is, which is the transient, I guess. Hold on. So is that just how it sounds? What is this? So what? How do they go from that to fucking holy shit? Right. So this is kind of where all the magic happens, I guess. Okay, well, this is like I just got this from like some XXXTentacion song. I can't remember. Distort it, fucking EQ it out and compress it. Yeah, cool. Anyway, this thing though, the magic. I just distorted it, added a transient shaper with the speed all the way up for the initial click, and then added another one for the rest of the transient, and then EQ'd the shit out of it. Ow. Another transient shaper. Okay, I see. So it could really accentuate the transient. And then distort that. I see. I see. Yeah, just really fuck it up. That's kind of that's insane. That is insane. You didn't miss it? Yeah, and you could rewind to see the absolutely simple process of making this snare. It was very straightforward and chronological. But that's it. I just out of the fucking ride. It was not simple. Even I can admit it wasn't so. I was just scrolling through my perk folder for random sounds I could use as a transient until I landed on this one, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Because I think I like got to a point where I made the chain, the effect chain, and then when I started scrolling through samples, like it made it more interesting. Anyway, this is the second half of the drop now, so like the rest of the sound design, the rest of the sound design kind of matters. Which I didn't really do anything differently except for realize I got kind of bored. So I didn't really get bored actually. When I vocoded the so this part has a chord progression. So this is kind of what I wanted to do initially. So it just the bass just changes. Whatever, cool. The overtones change and everything. The bass changes, yeah. But that also means that the overtones change for this part too. Which sounds really cool. Embroth, you seem like the type of person to play music in public when nobody stays and listens except for 3 whimsical animals mesmerized by your song. Yeah, I am that kind of person. This tends to happen at the skate park. I got 3 squirrels just posted up on the box, just watching my every move. Yeah. But what's it called? I think the chord stays the exact same. It's just like this thing changes, and so it different overtone, cool. And you can kind of hear them poke out, and it's nice. And then the piano and the saws, whatever. It's kind of the same sort of deal. Saws layering to help out. Fucking bitch. Yeah, I make chords sometimes, and then piano version of that. That's the Windows key. And the 9 circles thing too. Right. It just stays the same. That's it. I didn't really do anything differently. Except for the vocals. Now it's tweaking. Usher is still waffling his little head off like anyone can fucking hear him. And then I fucking added well, I honestly think that snippet is my favorite vocal snippet like in the world ever, because it's just like So cool. I was like, so sick. Now, where is that from, you may ask? FIFA 14. I refuse to play anymore because I will get content ID'd. Da 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 da. I see this place that we belong together. I think that's what he says. I don't know, but yes. I mean, I played. That was my first FIFA game that I owned. So like the music in there was really like memorable for me and a lot of people who just played FIFA 14. You know, I just grew up watching the Gaming Lemon, and he played a lot of FIFA with like 13 and stuff, and so I wanted to emulate that stuff, but I didn't have any money to pay for clubs, but like, or pay for like points so I could like buy packs. But anyway, that shit lives in my head rent free, and there's like a chorus part where it goes like it's like and it sounds cooler. The second part sounds cooler just because it's more in tune. And then I just fucking, you know. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god, shut the fuck up. Please. Please, please, please. The fucking, everything is on. I'm gonna kill myself. Why LFO tool? Just match the groove of the fucking drop, that's it. I added a random ass... Right, random ass lead. And it's called the J. Cole lead because I wanted to somehow incorporate this thing. But I never figured out how, so I just like, whatever, I'll just use the fucking ARP, and then I filled it in with a square. Because I do that shit all the time.
Yes!
JP Warrant. Oh my god. I hope JP Warrant is watching the stream and indulging in some hopefully interesting production content. Anyway, this fucking fill, right? I just love how it sounds like the Martin Garrix snare. I just think that's so funny. But it's not the Martin Garrix snare. I used Game & Watch Walking because I use this shit all the time. I just pitched it way down. So it's in key but still sounds cool, and then like a laser. I do this shit all the time where it's like I can't. It'll like just triple it into nothing, and then I do it here too. I think I also do it. No, wait, not there. Where else do I do it? I don't know, but I do it a lot. And then I just fucking cut the vocal up because I got bored. Whenever I do random ass like fill stuff, it's because I get bored. I mean, if this was real dariacore, I'd be filling all over the place. But like, I just really want to let the headbang, you know? It's like, you don't want to throw someone off too much because sometimes the shit is just so hard, you gotta let it rock, right? Like, I do have a frequency shifter. I'm half asleep at my desk. I closed my eyes for the past 10 minutes and just been listening to you. You said my name, I was like, what the fuck? It's hilarious. Well, I'm glad to be a part of what might have been a dream and what might have been reality, but you can never be sure because you were half asleep. Caught you off guard. I'm glad. Well, I mean, I'm glad I perked you up a bit. my voice is going. God damn it. Fucking, what's it called? I added a frequency shifter on the vocoder chain to slightly automate the sound, but you can't fucking hear it. It's just like, you know, you can't really hear it doing anything, but whatever. And that's the first drop. The very loud vocodery, distorted-y stuff. It's just being pushed to a clipper really fucking loud. Like, there's nothing fancy happening. Don't worry about all these plugins. We'll get to there. We'll get there. Thank you. If you want to hear more like this, the EP is already out. I broke down like 5 songs before this, which are the other 5 songs in the EP. And this is the last one on the EP. I didn't do it in order. I don't think. No, I definitely did not. But this is the last one, and the last one I'm breaking down because it's the last one, and it's the last one that I have to break down. It's also the last one. You know what I mean? Deleted key. So this part, I'm just like, all right, well, I want to use the intro to the blow vocal because I had it, you know, and I'm like, I think I just was scrolling through shit just like to get an idea, and I'm just like, 9 circles. You have to go back here, right? Because you know it's the breakdown, so you have to kind of tease the intro or something. You're a very new producer. I can only dream. No idea where to start. You start by not making dariacore. You start by making literally anything else, because that's like, because I feel like the idea behind making dariacore is like kind of like mashing together all the skills of different like genres that you've made and like, you know, just all that stuff, and just really taking it and bringing it to a 10. But it's like, if you don't really have anything to show, like anything to really add, like, because 0 times anything is 0, right? So you can't really make dariacore with no experience making music, period, you know. So it's like I'd probably start off just making literally anything else, just anything that comes to mind. And if for some reason you do get the idea to start like chopping up a lot of random vocals and like start to learn how like distortion works and stuff, and like really how to like balance it, and like that's like the first direction you go in, that's cool. That's great. You might even like find yourself very skilled at specific things that other people aren't. But chances are it probably won't go well, and you need to learn a little bit more like fundamental things. Not necessarily like fundamental things like on a technical level, like knowing like terms and shit, like what the fuck a loof is, but more so just like how to use your ear so that you know what sounds good and why it sounds good and how to make it sound better, perhaps. You bought FL. Okay, let's go. You have like 150 projects. Every time I get an FL, I try to mix it in new genres every time, trying to figure out what I really enjoy like currently. Oh yeah. So you don't really know like what sticks, you just kind of make shit. You want to know what a loof is? It's just perceived loudness. It's just, that's it. It means something. The acronym means something. I don't necessarily know what it is. All I know is that -7 is considered like kind of loud for dance music. -4 is like where like really loud like bass music stuff starts to sit at, like Virtual Riot. And then my dariacore friends, they push the shit to 0, 1 sometimes. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? But recently I've been indulging in the pushing of the loofs to 0 or 1, and I'm like, I see the vision, actually. It's quite fun. You know, you get a lot of that natural distortion and the nice bricky fucking waveform that you cannot play in a live set. But I have friends who get their stuff played in live sets and it's 0 loofs. So the fuck do I know? Like, but whatever. Nonetheless, 9 circles, Kesha. Why is the fucking LFO tool on? I'm gonna strangle somebody. Where is this fucking delay? Here it is. By then, I'm just like kind of, it's all over the screen. I'm just like, oh god. It's break time. Can I send you something I've made somehow? I never got any criticism from someone who might know what they're talking about. What's funny about that, I don't necessarily mean to plug, but I literally do have a channel in my Discord for this called Feedback, where people just post stuff and get feedback from other like producers in the in the server. You know, skill ranges might vary, but you just get all kinds of opinions from all kinds of ears. And I'm also in there giving my feedback because I get bored and people give me ideas. And so I hop into feedback and hear some shit that I probably would not have thought of because I just don't come from that musical background. And it gives me an idea of what to do. And also an opportunity to stand on my fucking high horse and act like I know what I'm talking about. When really in technical terms, I don't. I just kind of like trained my ear for very long. Anyway, it's break time. I can't believe that's the original break. But yeah, I just, you know, fucking take a break, cut it up a little bit, and you know, have a whole section. And then the you might be wondering why there are these like little cuts in between. And that's not because I have Z cross on. What this does is it sort of just for zero crossings in your audio when you cut it, so it minimizes the chance of pops and clicks. Let me see if I can induce it. Oh, damn it. Damn it, I need like a sound that has no fucking zero crossings. All these are bad examples, whatever. Anyway, what it would do is if you make a selection around an area that's not a zero crossing, it'll snap to the nearest one. But it can't seem to fucking find any, which is fine. Or it just thinks they're all zero crossings. I don't know. So these little cuts are because I have a transient shaper, which needs to detect a transient. Which is only working because the Maximus is on. And that's all the chop. That's all the choppiness. It's a little fucked looking, this volume curve, but it's necessary. And this is really that cut is that break shit, you know, just like fucking transient shaper, all the sustain down. I do the convolver stereo trick on this, but just like in a subtle way. To give it a bit more room. Bring it back with compression and lots of gain. Big crush it because it sounds cool. Make it a little less harsh with an EQ, and then the wave. The wave shaper, because this is the sauce. And then I EQ it again because like it probably introduces some like low end artifacts that I don't want in the overall mix. And that's the whole break. And then I add a little impact sound, little fucking, you know, and then, you know, that's basically it. You know, the little fucking, the drip riser, but no, the bubble up effects, but reverse, because it just does this. Classic. And then glass break. I use this everywhere, as you probably already have heard. That's basically it. That's just the whole thing. And then here it's like the dance vocal comes in and the usher vocal comes in. The Reese is coming in. The vibes are going on. There's more intensity building. It's pretty cool. Hi, Emochenko. And then I'm like, I kind of had like from this point on, I'm like, all right, I know exactly what I'm gonna do except for the drop. Because this always tends to the second drop was always like sort of not an afterthought, but like I get there when I get there sort of deal. Unless I just have something in mind, in which case I'd probably lay that out before the build up. In which case the build up would probably seem less coherent. I don't know, because like if the build up is the transition from like the breakdown to this to the actual build up is like quite smooth because like it just like all kind of came to me naturally. But I feel like if I had drop 1 and then drop 2, and then I was tasked with connecting them, it probably would have been less seamless, which is interesting to think about. My biggest problem I run into when producing is transitioning from one section of a song to another. Like I'm saying, like coming up with a bridge or knowing how the verse should sound after the intro. Making a single loop is always so easy, but then I kind of lose it. Yeah, but you just kind of have to focus, just try harder to make full songs. Like even if they sound bad, like if it's to the point where like you have trouble coming up with like a section, like you like to the point where you won't even like lace like an idea down, like you won't even lay an idea down, then that's a problem. You know what I mean? Because they're not even trying to throw shit out the wall. But I believe you're probably throwing shit out the wall and it's just not sticking. And to that I say, don't make the loop so fucking good. You know what I mean? Just don't make the first part that you work on so detailed and mixed and well. Like it can be unmixed. I think a large portion of this I just didn't necessarily have that mixed up until I made like the drop or something, you know, which is like the dessert. But like I gotta eat my fruits and veggies first, right? Like working without mixing first of all, and working without like adding in every single sound can help, so that you could just have like you might find yourself dividing the workflow in like and passes where like you kind of finish the whole track, but it's like the bare bones version of the whole track, and then from then on you start kind of working on the parts, adding shit to them, you know. And then just also trusting the process too. Like if you do find yourself making a loop that sounds really cool and the part after sounds a little underwhelming, you do just have to work at it until it doesn't sound underwhelming, because you worked at the initial part to a certain point to get it to where it sounded to. So it's not like the next part will just sound like the last part unless you spend that amount of time, if not a little more, you know, because it might not come as naturally. But it's like, yeah, just gotta throw more shit at the wall, and if all else fails, listen to more interesting music that does what you want to do well. That makes sense. But yeah, breakdown section, just a vocal and mini synth. It's basically just the intro. How I feel about Skrillex's new tape? Flames. Could not stop playing. It was so good. It was actually so good. I wish my voice sounded how it did literally an hour ago. Whatever. I heard that snare took 2 years to make. What's it called? But no, it's just the intro with like, or like the initial build up, just with extra steps. Like the dance vocal and the Usher vocal are playing. Actually, no, the Usher vocal isn't playing. First time I heard it, I know like 2 songs, but I'm hooked on almost every track. Interesting. You know, except I'm not doing the do 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 just like there's a lot less kind of going on. And I initially didn't really have like a pre-drop vocal when I made the drop, but I'm just gonna go over it now. Why is it triplets? Because I know I wanted to set up the groove, because I know the groove would be a little swingy. Know what I mean? So it's like triplets. And then like a fucking corny ass metronome sound. I don't even use that. I use the fucking hi-hat metronome. But like this sounds cooler. I've been feeling comfy making digicore kind of stuff and little trap beats lately. Digicore mainly though. Yeah. That's fun. I had a phase where I was making like realzies stuff and all hyperpop. But as soon as I heard dariacore, it was just like it's over. Like this is what I'm making now, because it just agrees with the way that I thought about remixing like old pop stuff, just in a way that I didn't think was possible. And so I'm just like, all right, well, this is cool now. Anyway, drop time. But this time it's the second drop, and it's already 3 fucking in the morning. It is 3 in the fucking morning. If you haven't...
Kerbazaz became cultured. Kerbazaz celebrates 3 months of membership. Thanks YT for reminding me about this weeks later.
Well, I also thank YouTube for reminding you weeks later, and thank you for doing, damn, like 3 fucking months? Let's go. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. If you haven't liked the stream yet, I don't know what you're doing. Just sitting there. Not moving your mouse at all. Just a little tap, and that's it. And it's been 3 months. Also, hi Leo, Giancarlo. We're currently on the second drop. I'm cursed to join the end of stream every night. We're not ending, it's fine. I'm like, it's like weird. So I know I just wanted to do like a very simple, like sort of dubsteppy, super cool, super cool. Clutched up tonight. That you did. You know, I think I added ride here. Oh, that's actually hard. What the hell? Oh, it's the fucking thing from here. That's sick. So these drums, this shaker is a shaker loop. They have running through the Minecraft wave shaper and then through a compressor and an EQ. Not much is really happening there. That's it. And I don't even know what the fuck what's happening here. Oh, it's so what's happening here actually is some snare I made a while ago that I just pitched way down. Or no, the transient is the same pitch, but the other part is not the same pitch. So it's like, one thing that baffles me is how you managed to get the yes 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 on this segment. It worked way too well. I mean, because it did work way too well. Just because it really reinforces the headbang, the groove, the everything, and it's just like yes, yes, like it's like it's so good. Anyway, we'll get there. Just like fucking. I had that laid down for the most part, and I'm just like, okay, I want to change the bass up a little bit. What even is this sort of bass? It's like a very basic, sort of fifth kind of thing. Noise, sub, filter movement. And just some shit. I'm automating in a dimension expander, apparently. I'm filtering in a notch for some reason. Distortion, EQ, which is doing nothing. And OTT. And then I just kind of changed the fucking wave shaper, or the wavetable. So it just... That's basically... And this fill is money as hell. I will not lie. That's just basically it. You know, just basic ass sound design, really. Just this thing in a fifth and some white noise and distortion. And this is being high passed over the actual bass. Which also has that volume sort of curve on it. But we're not really here for the bass. We're here for the basses. Super cool. This reminds me of... This really reminds me of... Fucking... Okay. This really reminds me of... Only because of that chord change. It's in the same key. Just because it's in the same key. Literally, it's in the same key, and I make chords the same way every single time. It's very like... For example, if I open up an FL Keys or something and try to play this chord, just for reference. A lot of notes, a lot of color. I mean, it's easy to fall into chord habits when you're including every fucking note in the scale besides the octave. Like, it makes sense. You know, it really depends on like what you choose as leading voices. But no, as far as chord progressions, no, yeah, I do the same like 3 chord progressions for like most of my songs. Also, this is basically the same layout as dollar. No, it's not. No, it's not the same layout as dollar sign. Anyway, so shut up. So what's going on here? So what's going on here is vocal this bass part 2. What could this actually be? So this is this, and this. Oh, that's a sample. Oh, it's a drop resampled? Oh. I see. It's the first drop resampled. Okay, cool. And it's being filtered in. So if I play it here. Yeah. What is this? Actually. Oh, I think it's the bass that I used in the first drop, but slower. Because I didn't use this bass in the second drop. I just used it in the first drop, but I vocoded it here, so. Kind of similar stuff going on here. I think I'm automating in a frequency shifter to make some movements. And I do it sometimes. And then I pitch it up here, I think. Because if I just change the pitch of the source material, it just changes the overtones of the vocoder. So it's pretty cool. And then I help it out with some saws. And then I help it out with the 9 circles thing, but the 9 circles thing has an LFO tool on it. You know. Overflow is twice as fast with the occasional keybinds I learn here. Appreciate that. Hell yeah! That's the whole idea. I mean, like, cause just making that shit faster so you can just get the ideas down more seamlessly with less walls, you know, with less button presses, you know, like, that's kind of the whole thing. So you can just kind of autopilot and just do whatever. And you combine the bass with the other bass. Super sick. Damn. To be fair, this bass has a lot of bass on it, so it's distorting the whole mix. It's basically just my little subby wubby wavetable and some bright white. Oh, and good looks in the mixing of my song on the Discord. Very correct assessment. I shouldn't mix the sound slide. I forgot exactly what I said. But I appreciate that you well, took the criticism well. And yeah, whatever. That's basically it, I think. For that part of the drop, I think I just added vocals. Well, without the vocals, it's just... Oh yeah, and the mandatory piano fill. My friend, whose name I will say on stream, Vaporwave, fuck you for this one thing. Because I was showing the track to him, and he's like, yeah, if you're going to use your piano fill, and you're going to use like a no-release piano, you're going to make sure the release is fully cut. So I would use a fruity balance to cut off the tail. to make sure it's really nice and tight. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. But there's a drum playing right after the piano, right? And it's being sidechained. And so if I check the sidechain, the LFO tool, that's the tail of the piano being cut away. And if I turn on the fucking this thing, which does nothing, cool. It just took away something that was already being taken away. It's cut anyway, but he's like, no, I can hear it ringing out. And I'm like, no, you're schizophrenic. It just is not. But like, whatever. So he told me to keep it, and then I kept it on screen share. And then when I stopped screen sharing, I fucking muted it because it's useless. Because I'm just like, why is this here? It's like, yeah, Gengi was tweaking, like, for real. But if you do piano fill, those go crazy. Very mandatory. And I had more fills planned, but I think when I added all the vocals, I'm like, I don't really need that many fills. Or that's gonna help, but then, like, you know, I just fucking... What is this? Oh yeah, this is the yeah, you know what I mean. And then this shit goes hard in the drop. That's like basically the whole drop. But, you know. Hello, I'm quite new to this NFL studio. Well, you just started swimming with the sharks, but welcome, Yowo. Welcome to the stream. I'm currently breaking down what I think is my favorite song by a small margin on the EP I just released on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. If you want to support me, you could buy the thing for $5, and it's 6 songs, so it's quite the deal. But wait, it's not 7. I swear to fuck, it's like 7. I don't know. Yeah, okay. So we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, shut up, please. Okay. Out of the dance vocal, right? Super basic. And then I just, for some reason, I think I went to pee. I was making this part on stream. I went to pee and I came back and I came up with this. I don't know if I went to pee or if I was just sitting here and I'm just like, this would go hard with a little bit of a... Well, not this and this. This wasn't here yet, but like the fucking... This is the skibbity bop bop bop. Yes. Fire. And then I had to use the fucking... For another fill. Just the lab rats fucking... I love using that. It's so fun. It's so fire. No, this is literally skibbity. This is literally skibbity. But no, yeah, this is from Lab Rats. You know how it goes. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Like, that's where it would be placed in the song. Yeah. And then what's essentially my tag at this point. Ow! Please stop. Please shut up. What's essentially my tag at this point. Everything really does kind of click into place, you know. I think I added this a little bit after the fact. And then this clicked into place for me. I'm just like, I need to have the just. Because now it's just dance. And then fucking add this in. When I added this part, when I added that fucking part, I thought it would just not work at all, and I'm just like, this is the most fire part of the song. This is the most fire part of the song. That groove is so crazy. It just vibes so well. the all the samples are grooving so well, and so when you just have like a simple like 4 on the floor sort of deal going on with a lot of color and distortion, and you just kind of let the samples dance around and just have a little conversation with each other. Like, right. All the little fills, which are like cheat codes in here, fucking, or you know, there's no laser on this, but essentially they just do it all the time, where it's like a, or like a, you know, you get the idea. They just do it all the time, where it's just I laser on the half of the beat right before the thing. You know, I have some random ass sound before the laser, and that's just an easy fill, and then a reverse kick right before the next kick. This one is kind of funny though, because it's the fucking the shit you'd hear in like a Vanoss video. How long have I been producing? It's coming up on 8 years. It's been 8 years. This is literally, I have fucking just hold on. Meme suspense. Like I have a bit of them because, you know, I was a video editor for a while, so I just have a bunch of dumbass fucking. It's just, you know what I mean? Just fucking. There it is. That's like a Vine sound effect though. I swear to God, like that one's you, because all of these are, I swear, they're like Movie Maker like stock sounds. So. No. Okay. I just got prop hunt flashbacks. No. All right. Anyway, I pitched it up one, so that it would actually fit. All right, I pitched it down one. I mean. I don't think that is gonna be insane. Yeah, reaction time. Fucking. But yeah, fucking just layer in the lower vocal of the lower octave of the 9 circles. And this is about as lazy as an outro gets. Just have a Reese hold the fucking note, filter it in. You know what I mean? Have the impact playing that I had earlier. This thing. Right, and then the fucking bubble up riser but reversed, and like an exhaust. Simple. And then finish off with a bit crusher. And then I need to have some sort of meme outro, so I just like got bored. I was like,
I don't know what to tell y'all, bro.
Shit.
I don't know what to tell y'all, bro. I'm simply just.
Yeah. Right. So that's the song, but that's not what it sounds like. I'm automatic bit crushers now. I mean, you get your own sound. I'm joking. But, you know, use it with the intention of, like, you know, understand that how you use a plugin is your sound. Not necessarily the plugins you use, but how you use it. So, you know, be creative with it. It's getting snatched. Oh, fuck. My steez is getting bitten. Right, so it's mastering time. So, the first thing that I do, this is actually not the first thing I do. The first thing that I fucking do is... The first thing that I did was turn on this spectral compressor, which is kind of attacking like the mids and like the highs, but leaving the bass sort of alone. It's kind of weird. You wouldn't really expect the spectral compressor to do that. Or most people compress like their sub like quite tightly, but I mean, there's not much sub happening except for when it does happen. So it's like that's kind of redundant. I don't know. See, it's kind of on a faster attack, on a faster release, and it's essentially just targeting the Aaron peaks of the mids and some of the highs, and I guess like the exceeding lows of the subs. Hi, Vil. And then there's a bit of an EQ after that. And what this EQ is doing. It's taking a bit of unnecessary like low mids out, so like the 300 range I generally tend to cut out from the mix in general if it's not already cut, like, or cut out in the master if it's not already been cut by the individual sounds in the mix themselves. And then a little shelf at 10K, you know, 10K and above to just kind of make it a little brighter, you know what I mean? And it all goes into a clipper, which is not fully clipping for some reason. I normally fully clip, but for some reason I chose not to this time. I don't know, I spared it for some reason. They're both not fully clipping. It's interesting. And I kind of figured, yeah, that's basically the whole that's it. That's the whole master. Except for the fact that I kind of wanted to, I'm gonna turn this off, have some filter sweeps as it was building up. You know, but right now the current problem, if you listen to the the build up to the drop, it's like yeah, it's hard, but it doesn't necessarily hit as hard as it does in the SoundCloud version, and that is because I cheat. How do I cheat, you may ask? Well, what I do is I have what is just like a pre-gain, essentially. And what it's doing is, this is the normal volume, and it basically, as it is more drastic here, it just keeps things quiet until the drop. So for example, and suddenly the drop is way louder in comparison. It's way louder in comparison, and it just smacks you in the face, you know, and it's super cool. And I also needed to do that effect over here. I did it a bit more drastically, kind of, because like this drop just is not as loud as this drop. Juxtaposition bread. Well, that's kind of what it is. Loudness, or just like our ears basically listen to audio relative to other audio. It's not exactly like we have an objective measurement of anything, really. Which is why if you add like 10 sound guidizers to your master as a joke, but then take them all off, you might find that your shit sounds like a tin can, right? But that's only compared to what the fuck you just heard. You know, our ears are like that, especially from moment to moment. So it's like all these audio tricks that you can do can make things seem louder. So like this breakdown section I made a little quieter, which you don't even notice just because it's loud anyway. But I guess if I didn't do that, what would it sound like? I mean, fine. I guess I just want it to be quieter. And I made this subtly louder. just because it was quiet and I don't fucking know. At this point, I was just smoking weed and doing voodoo, like. But this is drastic as hell, so this part seems loud in comparison. Oh yeah. Oh, and this is this is bassy as hell too. Let me just real quick the span for this, like. That's not real sub. I want to hear that shit like in a car. I want to hear that in a car so bad. But if I didn't have this sort of build up, like automation volume curve, I think the drop just would not have hit like as hard. In my mind, it just happens in that case. But here it like kind of hits you a bit harder. Car be saving my mix sometimes. You be sharing some shit you didn't even know was weak. Be hearing some shit. Car. What? What? Did you spell any of that right? Car be car! I see! I get it now! I get it now! I get it now. Car. That's you actually meant to spell like that because you can hear your songs in a car. Right. Yeah, I mean like if you have shitty earbuds, get some cheap IEMs and your life will be fucking changed. Alright? That's all I'll say. Car testing does definitely help though. I kind of assess like just how your mix stacks up compared to, you know, other songs. Can't be saving my mix cause she chill. Well, I hate calling cats cars. I will never do that shit. That's some fallen chungus ass fucking whatever. But anyway, yeah, no, that's the entirety of Blow, and that's the entirety of CORSA. If you haven't listened to it, in the description. And there is also a Bandcamp version for you to listen to higher quality and to support. If you haven't liked the stream yet, I'm convinced you're psycho or blind, but there's only 5 likes, and I peaked 7 fucking people. I think it's safe to say I should make like an ostrich and bury my head in the sand forever, perhaps. But maybe I won't do that. And I'll continue making shorts in hopes that some people might come to my live streams. Until then, I shall voice train. I hope you all sleep well. Good night, everyone.